Ladies and gentlemen, live from Hollywood, California, it's Gordon Goodwin and his Big Fat Band. Broadcasting from the legendary Capitol Records Studio A. Tune in to watch them record 3 new cinematic tracks, live from scratch. Follow the action at home, the included full and piano scores. Stay tuned for interviews, featurettes, and set pieces as Gordon teaches you everything you need to know about composing for cinematic big band. Over 5 hours of exclusive video content. Appearing this night only. Only from Stratasound.
Components of a big band ensemble can be a little hard to decipher if you're untrained, if your ears are used to hearing it. But really, in a tune like this, it's kind of simple because it's only 4 notes at a time, 4-note voicings. And you do it that way sometimes so when you want the ensemble to be mobile and light and swinging, which this tune is. So what I thought I'd do is we'll have the saxophones play their part in the main chorus of this song. And these 5 guys contribute a unique texture to the overall ensemble, but they also are a cohesive unit on their own. They could play it on their own, it would still sound right. Let's show them what we mean, guys. So we'll do the pickup to bar 7.
To 14?
We're going to go from 7 all the way through the downbeat of 18. Okay? There we go. Here's pickups to 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good. So you might notice that Jay on the baritone saxophone, who usually plays the lower notes on the chords, but for most of that, he's doubling the same thing as Eric on lead alto. Why don't you guys play that part together? Just Jay and Eric. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. See, it's the same part, but it's an octave apart. Once again, saxes from 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you can hear the melody is reinforced down here in an area where they don't always get to play the melody. Now, let's move over to the trombones. Now, the trombones play the same notes, but I believe it's a different inversion because I didn't want to get Andy and the first trombone up too high. I wanted it to be a little more relaxed. So let's see what the trombones by themselves sound like. Pickups to 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good. So the same thing with Craig on bass trombone. You don't have a bass note in the whole section. It's more in the middle of the staff. Let's do the saxes and trombones together, right? So now we've got the kind of the lower and mid-range parts of the ensemble. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sounds pretty good, right? But in terms of the overall ensemble sound, it's a little mid-rangey. So we got to get some sizzle to it. And that's what these guys in the back row are all about. With the trumpets, they play their parts, and it's an octave higher than everything we've heard so far. So let's hear the trumpets on their own first, okay? Here, guys, pickups to 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. if you can tell, but that's really loud. These guys move a lot of air. Yeah, it is. I mean, my ears are registering more volume, but that's why 4 of those guys can counterbalance these 9 guys in an ensemble passage like this. So let's do the whole ensemble, and you can check out what they sound like with these 4 trumpets on the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, the thing you just heard is also a byproduct of these musicians playing together all the time. So they know each other's tendencies. They know where they put it rhythmically. They know where they put it intonationally. And when you get that kind of a nuance of understanding, you get a real unification of the ensemble sound. That's the commitment that we go for in the Big Phat Band. So Wayne, when you're playing a chart like this, let's take a little listen to our lead trumpet player. He can talk about like an approach that you bring in terms of swing, in terms of like accents that you do on the music. I mean, what would you say you would think about in a piece like this?
Something like this, always the ands of the beats, of course, at the first lick. But the second note is always going to explode. You wrote an accent on here, but even if they didn't, that's how we would play it. You know.
So you're bringing a little extra oomph to that end of one, even though it's not really written.
Crescendo. And then the next 2 notes as well.
Yeah.
So the top note jumps out of the thing, and then when everybody does that together, of course, it's very effective.
Now, did you say anything to everybody about phrasing it that way, or do you just do it and they listen?
Well, I have to tell Dan everything. The rest of the group here, no, we just instinctively know what to do.
Yeah.
And we've played together enough, all of us here, that we don't really need to talk about that kind of stuff.
That kind of thing, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of standard issue Count Basie orchestra kind of rules of the road.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So Andy, what would you say about like leading a trombone section in an ensemble like this?
Well, basically, I just try to lock in with the drummer and swing as hard as I can within the center of the beat. I'm not going to drag and I'm not going to rush. I'm just going to try to find that center of the beat and swing as hard as I can on a chart like this, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't play with the drummer right now. So when you don't play with the rhythm section, if it's kind of like a cappella like this, how do you fill in the rhythmic gaps?
I tap my foot real loud so these guys
do,
can
yeah.
So we all just follow him and drag with him, yeah.
So let's go talk to Eric Marienthal, a lead alto player. So big band tradition of lead alto players like Marshall Royale, and I mean, do you think about guys like that in terms of your approach to a chart like this?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, all the music that we listen to and influences that we have influence the way we play, the way we lead our sections, and the way we try to balance. And something like this, where I'm playing in unison with Wayne, I'm really focusing over there to try to phrase exactly the way Wayne is, and at the same time play in a way that the rest of the saxophone section can follow. So it's a matter of playing consistently and playing in a way that can be followed.
Well, that's what's interesting, because if you look at it on the page, like I say, it's only 4-note voicings, pretty simple. But then these musicians take these notes and these dots and these lines and lift it off of the page, turn it into music, turn it into something that has meaning. And if you can do that with your band, that's when you really get to the secret sauce of not just big band music, but just music in general.